Hey there, I think we're live. Okay, welcome. This is Macro to Micro Power Hour with an emphasis on women in trading and finance. I am so happy that you joined and that we can hear each other now. It is Thursday after a crazy market. I am very happy to be joined by Julia Cordova or Cordova. How do you like it?
Cordova's fine.
Cordova is fine. Hot ticket on Twitter and YouTube, and I am just really excited because she's not boring like me. I am such plain vanilla girl. It's not even funny, but I am passionate about elevating women and inspiring women and supporting women into this business, which I adore, and I know you do too.
Yes.
So thank you for joining today because not only do we want to talk shop, like the market, a little bit, because it's really helpful to kind of figure this whole thing out. It's a puzzle, and I hate the market right now.
Why?
I hate it. Just this, I call it fragility of chop. So kind of like, the oil trade this morning, you know it's going to happen, you know it's going to dump, and then boom, in a New York minute, it dumps. But this is the market we have to navigate. So all right, so before I do anything, share screen, little housekeeping here. Yes, let's do this. All right, this is an interview that I hold every Tuesday and Thursday, my Macro to Micro Power Hour. I do have a guest captain page up on my website. This is me, by the way. I am Samantha LaDuc, founder of LaDucTrading.com. And I also have obviously a Twitter presence, and so does Julia, much bigger than mine, I might add. So kudos to you. You got a fan base, and I want to talk to you about that because you're not into you're trading your own stuff and you're making that available, and that is why you have definitely gotten a calling. Plus, you swear a lot. Let's be honest. Like, this is cool. So you have a better, I think, engagement here with folks via Twitter and also on your YouTube channel, where you go over a lot of futures related stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's cool. You have some good analysis, and then you have graciously and generously made that available on your YouTube channel and on Twitter. Where else are you, by the way? Where else do you kind of share your stuff?
I have a Telegram channel, but I stopped posting to it because it got to be too much with Twitter. So I just stick to Twitter and YouTube right now.
Okay, tell me, what's Telegram? I'm like not hip.
Okay, it's like it has channels that people. I mean, you can basically do the same thing you can do on Twitter, but the problem is, like, I don't want to just listen to myself in a chamber, and I was having problems finding people on Telegram besides Tick. So okay. It's just another outlet for sharing thoughts and ideas.
Okay.
I like to be interactive. I like to find out what other people are doing. I like to learn from people.
All right. It says Julia is tough to hear, so we need to amp this up here.
Okay, let me just
spike the sound.
I've got a button to press.
Oh, that's much better. Okay, Brian, how does that sound?
Is that better?
Okay, we'll just keep talking, and if you complain about it, we'll fix it again.
I'll get closer, maybe.
Better. Okay, that's cool. I love it. So Brian Gilmartin, I love that you're here. So he's a money manager, and he is the consensus guy, which means he's extremely successful for his clients, and he follows me, he says, for my non-consensus views.
That's awesome.
And he's very supportive. You have been wonderful, Brian. I get first of all, he's a fundamentalist, and I only use that a little bit, right? So, and Chicago and all that. Oh, happy belated St. Patty's Day, Brian. Apologies. But he's very supportive of women in trading and finance. So I love that he's here to kind of show support. So
thank you, Brian.
And definitely let us know if sound goes in and out and all that jazz. But okay, so you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube. You love to exchange ideas. You definitely love to engage. You have a calling because I think you have a strong voice. Good.
Yeah, thank you.
And you're a technician. And so that's definitely one thing I think Yeah, he follows very strong technicians. I've noticed that in his feed. So what else do you bring into kind of your analysis of the market? Because I definitely see the technical side. Is there anything else that you kind of bring into it?
No, no, I honestly, I truly just draw lines and I try to, the best I can, follow them. And I'm not an expert in anything other than just, maybe there is a little bit of an art to drawing lines, and I could potentially be pretty good at that, but I'm not, I'm, that's, that's why I would think I was a tough person for you to get. I don't actually like to be interviewed because I don't think of myself as somebody that, is, an expert by any means,
But it's not necessarily, I mean, I love that you're humble about this, but you didn't just get popular and, it's
well,
obvious that you have talent, my dear, and you also have a trader psychology bent, right?
yes, that's true. That's
I
very true. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the trader psychology bent is also inspiring in general, and it inspires engagement.
Hmm.
That's huge.
Well,
So
I also like to
presented it.
do
So you
crazy things. I mean, I am not a trend trader, generally speaking. Once something gets into a trend for a while, sure, and like in the middle of it. But I like to bottom catch. I like to top call. I like to do all of the things you're not supposed to do. But I'm fairly good at it. So that's probably, it's just different, I think, maybe than other people might be used to.
I think when folks say, why do you spend so much time trying to pick the tops and the bottoms? I love it.
Just unite.
Exactly. I love to do it. For me, it is the challenge, but it's also restriction is not my jam. So just because somebody said one time you can't pick tops and bottoms, I'm like, forget about it. This, if I'm good at it, I'm going to do what I do more of. That's, to me, you and I are like, restrictions not our jam. We'll do what we want.
Yeah.
What was the comment?
I said, how long do you stay in trades? And that actually, so that depends on whatever time frame that you're charting on and what your goals are. So there's, I mean, this chop market, to Samantha's point, is fantastic for scalp and range traders, right? I mean, they're happy, happy, happy,
Channel
happy.
surfing. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday was really good up until the Fed thing. It was really great scalping, at least in NQ. But yeah,
Are you a day trader only? I mean, do you hold overnight?
oh yeah, no,
Okay.
I mean, no, so I trade futures, so I sometimes I'm up all night and all day.
Yeah.
No, I've got different accounts where have different goals. So I have my investing account, and then I have a swing trade account, and which is different from the investing. I don't know why it is, but it is. And then I have
It is.
my day trading account and a futures account.
So I do three: the chase, swing, and trend time frame. I don't have the fourth, but this is very much for like you're saying, the chases that are happening in intraday. This is definitely when you can see a lot of momentum. Also, it was really popular. I do options on equities, so the single stock gamma option squeezes were phenomenal. But swing trades are kind of like anticipating when momentum is going to come into a move, like a Boeing. It's going to maybe take a few weeks to kind of get to its place. But trend trades are just that. They're big, for me, durable themes, whether it be macro or sector rotation, and you can stay long. For example, the rotation or cyclicals reopening trades for months, or oil,
Yeah,
until
oil. Once it got above my key line, it was like, I mean, it just, yeah,
you can stay in it for
that,
months and months and months,
that was a good one.
or trade around it.
That was
So
a really good one.
this is I agree. I have different time frames. I serve three masters, and the voices inside my head are always checking: is this a chase, or is it a swing, or is it a trend? Always. So okay, so you do this though around the clock.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't have a life. I'm just insane. I'm insane. I don't know. I mean,
That's a lot.
it is a lot.
Okay.
It is a lot, but I don't mind it. I like it. I enjoy it. It's exciting. And it gives
Okay.
you a lot of opportunities in case you miss something during the day.
So what do you find, especially in the markets, at night, you've seen the statistic. I have tweeted it many times
Yeah.
where it's, 92% of the S&P gains are actually overnight,
Right.
right? So are you playing that consensus trade? I mean, that is brilliant for those who follow.
I would have liked to have thought that I did earlier, but no, no, not always. It depends on what I'm trading. Really, honestly, I'm just looking for it to hit my lines, and I don't
Okay.
care. I don't care when that happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes I don't make any trades all day if it doesn't hit anything. But I just wait for it to hit my lines. I don't care what time it is when it happens, and I'll just do that.
So do you care about any of the kind of like the sentiment? I know as women, we're kind of gut traders. We have our instincts and our intuition,
Hmm.
because so it's not always just lines. But I mean, you see right now this market approaching, 4,000, for example, for SPX. Are you thinking anything other than your lines? Are you thinking this is just ridiculous? Or bull or bear? Let me ask that way.
Well, okay, so I was bearish for a while, and I mean against the trend. I mean, I took these short little trades. I tried to swing over and over again. I just couldn't get it to happen. But finally, we got the correction I was looking for. So, I mean, now I'm trying to figure that out. But I don't like the fact that there was an all-time high over a holiday weekend overnight. I don't like in a queue anyway. I don't like that at all. So I would like that taken out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. So I would like it taken out.
I would, but for other reasons. I want the VIX to absolutely fill that gap from February. So we have an open, VIX 1861
Okay.
specifically. I want that bugger filled, and then we can turn. Whatever's happening today is just annoying to me because we haven't
I
filled that
know.
gap.
I know. I know. I'm into gaps too. I love gaps. They're
Yeah.
really great for support and resistance.
Exactly. So I'm eagerly awaiting, but it's, like for Godot. In the meantime, we just have this fragility of chop. Now you have so what's your favorite vehicle to trade, since obviously you're up at
Um,
all hours? It's like, really, what's your favorite?
I trade. Well, I do rotate through favorites. Like I used to post a lot of oil trades, and not recently because it's so trendy. Why would I do that?
Oh
Right.
my God, it's up like 435%. And now everyone's calling it long. And my favorite oil trader that I had on this show last Thursday is like, yeah, no, have you found a bear? Yeah, everyone's a bull. Everyone's a bull. This is when the rug gets pulled.
Yeah, no, I did say on my YouTube channel because in the weekly candles, it's been this kind of bearish looking candle two other times, and this is the third time. And usually for me, when I'm looking at like longer term charts, whenever I see the third kind of candle, that's like the perfect time for an oil pullback.
Now,
So
are you talking about on a weekly chart, for example?
yeah,
Okay,
well,
okay.
that was what I was looking at. Just because I
Yeah.
mean, it's it's not worth to me. It's not worth scalping it when I can just own oil dirt. I think it's called dirty energy. I like dirty. No, it's called dirty energy. So I just have owned a bunch of dirty energy stocks and been long oil in my investment account.
Okay.
So I just haven't been trading it. Like I don't trade Bitcoin either, just because I mean sometimes on huge swings, but like I like to have the weekends off. But also I just think
Oh, that's such a tell because Bitcoin does its moves every weekend.
yeah, I know, right? So I know. So I just bought it, and I was just like, I'll just hold it. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm not going to look at it because if I look at it, I'm going to want to sell it.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. So anyway, I'd like to trade Nasdaq, and doing a lot of silver lately, and that's pretty much. I mean, sometimes ES is it's for me. It's easy. So that I mean, nothing's easy. I shouldn't say that. For me, it's easier
Well, but you're more
than
comfortable if you get to know
right,
somebody, like
right,
that guy, like
right.
that, that guy. That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So then, okay, so I saw some because you do take requests on Twitter. You're like, okay, who can talk about the option stuff? And that's the geeky stuff I don't ever want to do. But like Sassy Options, her whole jam is pinning, and I think that was kind of your question. So then you reach out and you find out some folks that are recommended, and there are so many good quants out there on Twitter. It's such a benefit to me, in particular, to find subject matter experts, because I do follow the fundamentals, I do follow the macro, I do follow the quant, I do my own intermarket. I'm absolutely, everything begins and ends with technicals as far as entries and exits. But I like this whole interdisciplinary kind of approach. But in particular, that trade mindset of, okay, I'm going to go in and just do technicals. You're using your gut too. There's no question. And then you want to get information like, what about pinning? And so, I mean, and then the Rico guy, I don't know what that is about. Helen and Rico, you gotta catch me up.
Okay.
Yeah. That's macro. That's totally interest rate and duration.
Yeah.
You're doing more than just technical.
Well, I mean, okay. So, yeah, that's true, because generally speaking, I'll know, like I knew gold was going to have a problem because so many people got so bullish. And it became a little culty. I knew it was going to have a problem. So I was just waiting for the problem before I and also people are very emotional about it. So I didn't want to get super bearish before the chart looked bearish. So I had to wait till the chart looked bearish. And I was like, this now looks bearish.
I used to think silver bulls were the worst until the Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Whatever floats somebody's boat. I don't have anything against it, but I just don't like people being, it's hard to, it's a religion, right? Some of these are religions. And so, I got a lot of flack for shorting Tesla. It's not like I haven't been long too at times. I don't know.
It's your thing, and you're doing it free for people to, benefit from your lessons learned. They can live vicariously through your trades.
I just say what I do. Sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's not. It's okay.
But this interest that you are building, obviously, in like the bond trade, this is, are you doing anything with rates or
no, I'm not. No.
Okay.
I did make a little trade, but I don't want to talk about it because I didn't talk about it on Twitter and it wouldn't be fair.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. I don't like, so that's one thing I hate is like, I have made some really, I did some good things that I can't talk about because I didn't talk about it beforehand. I just don't like it when people go, oh okay, yeah, I did that like after the fact. I don't want to.
So you got your rules and regulations, obviously, of what is safe to talk about. And so you stay in high regard. And now what do you want to do with this? Because your YouTube channel is growing and we need more women on YouTube of substance that can explain things, that can engage, that can, also women need to see what they can be. So yeah. There are so many men doing, YouTube and the rest that I'm encourage more women to kind of follow you and see how you approach markets and your sense of humor, all that kind of stuff. You're a lot, at least in your writing.
I'm a sailor.
You're a sailor in your writing. Oh my.
I know. I'm so innocent. Really. I don't curse that often, actually. It's kind of funny. It's like an alter ego. I just don't, but it's okay. Sometimes I do if I'm trading badly. My dogs run out of the room.
So there you go. The alter ego. That's funny. Yeah. All right. So this is, I just want to see, also an engineer. What's that? Also an engineer.
So I have a mechanical engineering degree and background, and so that's.
Yeah, how'd you get into this? What's your story?
Oh, so I have an engineering. I had a scholarship to go to school, and they required me to major in an engineering or science, and so I just chose the one with the hottest boys, and then I worked at Kodak for a while. Kodak,
Kodk?
Yeah, I worked on the photo CD project a long ass time ago. And
are you from Boston?
I'm from Boston. No, I lived there for a long time, but that was in Rochester, New York. And
okay.
Yeah, I worked there for a while, and I was, so I think I knew I couldn't be a good, or I was going to be different when my team could not afford a smoke machine because we wanted to measure the airflow. Oh, so a photo CD is like, it's a round disc and it's got these grooves in it, and I wanted to measure the die, basically the die. I'm just going to say height above each of these grooves and make sure they were uniform. We were just doing that kind of dynamics, and we couldn't afford a smoke machine because I was like a college kid or whatever. So I was just like, I got this, and I got all these cigarettes, and I put them in this thing, and we used cigarette smoke to
That's
measure
funny.
the airflow. And the guy's like, you don't belong here.
It's out of the box thinking.
It's not right for you. He's like, you're not dumb. You're not.
You're a little different.
He said great things about me. He's like, but you don't belong here. You need to do something else. No, so then I was a coder for a while. I was a developer, and then I started. Then I saw how much money the salespeople were making, and I didn't think they were that bright. So I switched over to sales because like I could not believe they were making so much more than I was being technical. And then I did very well there. And then I just started trading because I needed something where I didn't travel.
Okay.
And now I don't have to. I mean, I could go back, I guess. Now wouldn't have to travel, but
Exactly. Well, you still need your smoke lab.
I don't know. That guy's gonna kill me if I tell a story.
You're not going to leave this space, I don't think. Okay, so how long you been doing this like full time?
6 years.
Okay. Okay, and who do you hang with the most? Like you are not really in a community where you're a lone wolf, but I mean,
No, what do you mean?
no. Where do you, that's what I mean. Is it the Twitter community, or do you have like a Discord or some other place that you
no,
kind of like
Oh, that's a good
other
question.
traders, other people that you hang with?
Just Twitter. Like
Okay.
we are some genius people on Twitter.
Beyond, I know, off the wall.
So smart, and they're so kind and so supportive, and they're just so willing to give. It's just, I think it's a really great community. I love Twitter. I love the people. On Twitter. I learn so much every day, and they're just great. Most people on Twitter. There's a couple of trolls that I don't know if they can't possibly trade, but for the most part, everybody's really.
Are you quick to block? I am quick to block.
You know what? I only have 140 people blocked. Oh, look at, yeah. So one time, it's adorable. So one time I called the gold breakout a long time ago, and I was like, guys, I didn't have that many followers, but I got retweeted by somebody who had 20,000 followers. And I think I had 600 at that time. Anyway, he retweeted me and said that my gold trade was absolutely adorable.
Oh,
and that we were stuck in a 2016 price range, and that I should just give it up.
And you're still known for that. I mean, that's hysterical.
I
Okay.
have the receipts from that. And then when I called him out on calling my chart adorable, he blocked me. But he's kind of a lot of people like him. Whatever. I don't like him.
No, it's to each their own. But okay, so this is the community I meant. So I wasn't sure if there was any other like trading community that you were involved in, or nope.
No, I used to be in the trading room, but the problem is I become consumed. Then you get to know people really well, and I get consumed with their trades, and I don't think enough about my own, and I just have to really trust myself, and then be able to look at other people when I need them, but not be a slave to them. I just felt like I started second guessing myself all the time. If I would do something and somebody else be like, "Oh, really?" And I'd be like, "Oh, is it bad?" And then I would stop, and then I was right, and then I would just
Okay. So that was not productive or profitable.
It was not good for me, but it could be good for other people, but it was not good for me.
Well, that's the nurturing side. I mean, I find that because I run a live trading room, and I'm very much focused on engagement, meaning custom analysis. So if a client says, what about this? What about this? What about this? Then I'll do my analysis, whether it's macro or technical or, what have you. And that to me, it feeds that engagement. But yeah, it's impossible to then go and, chase something that looks hot fire flames if I am, worried about their trade, which is what I do. I'm worried about their trade.
Well,
I want to size it up and help them. That's my job. And that afternoon, I cut them loose. I do my own thing.
that's good. So that's the problem, right? If somebody is, and I used to do this too, especially when I first started, I'd have a bias one way or the other, and I would seek out people with those bias, and I would just constantly ask over and over again as if the answer would be different. What about this? What about, and then just look for, I'd look for confirmation bias. And I don't, so when people ask me things now all the time, it actually, it messes up my mind.
Interesting. Okay. So, but your voice is still getting stronger, and I see it in other cases, but I mean, that's interesting because I actually seek out both sides, the bull and the bear, actively. Like now I also have a Slack channel for my clients. So I'm posting my macro or the trade setups, across all the platforms, blah, blah, blah. And the interesting thing is I am very much focused on what could go wrong, right? Where's the risk?
No, that's very smart. And
then I post, here's the bull case, here's the bear case. We need to lawyer this out. So I don't fall prey to the recency or that bias, if you will, because I definitely want to be, I don't know, it's kind of like mom radar when you're looking at sizing up what risks there are. I am always looking at both sides, and then I have to choose one very strongly. I think the weight of the evidence is this. So, but I like that lawyering it out.
Mm-hmm.
I was just getting a little tweet. Anand says, hello, from Sang Lucci. I don't know if you know him, but I have done these interviews with him, and he's heading to Orlando on occasion, and he's heading to Orlando. So he said, hot ticket, best of luck, and glad that we're kind of carrying this on because we had talked a while ago, Anand from Sang Lucci, for those who know him, that there just wasn't a lot of representation of women in the trading rooms, for example. So obviously I run my own, and it's going to be more comfortable for women to come in, but he and Wall Street Jesus, they're brilliant. They're awesome traders and analysis of option flow. That's their thing, right? And huge following as well, and great service. And so, but the women in his room weren't getting listened to. They were getting talked over. They were getting dismissed. And he didn't like that. But how to change that when you have that culture, if you will, of a lot of, a lot of strong male voices. So he's actually trying to mitigate that. It's tough.
That is tough, and I feel for women. So I was born when my mom was older, and because I think she was just all done, like she just didn't want.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yes, exactly. And back in the day,
my three are in college. I'm tired.
Right. She just didn't want to mess with me too much. So I was always, in a lot of ways, I think I have a male I don't know if it's male or not. Maybe it's just a lot of confidence because, they say that when you're in an elevator, if a man presses the button and it doesn't light up, then he'll go, what is wrong with this elevator? And if a woman presses the button and it doesn't light up, she's like, well, I just didn't press it hard enough, and go for it again. I will be like, what is wrong with this freaking elevator? Like, this elevator didn't go on. I obviously pressed it. But so I think that way. And I don't know if it was because of the way that I was brought up or what, but I think that just women in general are just so different, and I don't think better, but I don't think worse at all. Like I just think that it's coming from a different perspective, and a good perspective that we can all learn from, especially because you're right, there's so many. I think my YouTube channel is like 95% male audience, which it was 99%, so this is like a win.
Yeah,
but it's
now do Twitter. Because you can do profile, you can, what do you call it? Your analytics to find out your gender, how much they make. I mean, there's basically a tool in there.
That is so creepy.
It's in other words, when you go on, you can put, I'm a female, I work in this industry, I make this much money. So they basically aggregate that information, and literally in Twitter, I remember, a few years ago, 96% men, and now it's like 80% men. So I consider that a huge improvement. Just because I know that, it's starting slowly to balance out. But I've worked at that. Like, I keep that FinTwit list of women. I hold the voice of women, and then I build it. If I see a woman that's in trading and finance, analyst, or individual trader, or big, guru, I put them in this list, and it's growing. But I'm working at growing that female representation on my Twitter. It's a lot of work. There are a lot of women who are trading, but in the shadows.
And there, yeah, a lot of times, I mean, I know I actually am offline with a few so genius and brilliant, but for whatever reason they don't want to. I mean, a lot of it too is there are some jerks on Twitter. They hassle me sometimes, but they don't want people to come after them. So they'll tell me privately. They'll say, "Oh, did you see this in gold or oil or whatever?" And I'll be like, "Oh no, I did not see that." Or, and we'll just exchange pivots and stuff. Or I get into a trade, I'll be like, "Ruh-roh," and I'll call them, and they're so good, but they don't necessarily post on Twitter actively. It's more just like reactively, because I think that it's there are some bullies, some of the old school guys that they like the guy who retweeted my gold call. Like, he I think he thought maybe I would back down, or that I would say, "Oh wow, you're so smart, let me just join your service." I don't think so.
Well, it's a power play in some regards. It's protecting their turf. They've got it, right? And so they're protecting it. But I love that. So okay, so you're going to keep doing your thing, which is share your trades and your trader psychology. What's your plan moving forward? Like, what do you want to do, since now you have a bit larger and growing platform of folks that find you adorable?
Oh, that's really sweet. I find them adorable. I don't have any plans to have a service. I don't want to ever have a service, actually. I think that's like too much. I wouldn't do that. I don't need to do that, and I wouldn't do that.
It will limit your trading tremendously if you have that nurturing kind of mentality like I do in my trading room. I want to take care of them first, and then
I don't. They would just annoy me. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm keeping it 100. No,
You're keeping what? What was that?
No, I'm just keeping it 100. They would just, I mean, it would just irritate me. I just can't, because it's, I just can't. I just can't.
Okay.
But
and besides, you're tired from being up all night.
Yeah, right. I know. I was up all night last night. Well, I mean, I woke up early, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm just trying to produce content that's useful to people and learn myself. Because I figure if I'm learning something, then maybe somebody else is learning something. And I'm not trying, I think a lot of times people, a lot of people who interview people because they're popular and because they want to grow their own following, and because they whatever, they sell service, whatever. I don't do that. I'm really interested in interviewing people who know something, who can explain it well, and who, I've only interviewed really 3 people so far. Michael Listman and Uncle Rico and Mark Cahotis. But
those are big names. In regards to, big thinkers. And so they respect you enough to allow their brand to be commingled with yours.
Oh yeah, Rico would like that. So
they all would like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is fun for you, and it's also a platform.
Yeah, I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to learn, and if other people can benefit from whatever I learn from, that's great. Like the options thing, I don't care about making somebody else. I don't care about how popular it is. I don't care at all. I don't care about making them popular. I don't care. I really just care about them knowing what they're talking about and being useful. And and sharing their information and not trying to sell me something. I don't want to be sold to. I want to learn.
So, this is obviously one avenue that you do this on Twitter and on YouTube. And like, what is your biggest curiosity? Like you had mentioned about options pinning, but really, what do you want? Where do you want to go next? I'm curious girl too, by the way. So it just, for me, this is a learning planet, and I love that I actually can can kind of scan and synthesize and then make it operational for clients and for trade setups, because to me this is it. This is the puzzle, and it never ever gets old. I couldn't do one particular track or one particular discipline because I just wouldn't stay in the lines. So you're what's your next area to conquer?
Well, I just go with whatever is the, whatever people are talking about, and if there's some, I try to keep my content to something, my interview content at least, to something that's actionable. Like, I don't want to talk about stuff just to talk about it.
So
Like, I
for the
want to know.
week, are you talking about like mostly for like the week ahead?
Oh no, just in general. I mean, we
Okay.
talked about actually right before small caps broke out. I had Uncle Rico on talking about the Great Migration into small caps, and I had talked about GE and at the time, and so whenever I saw an opportunity there, and I knew from talking to Uncle Rico that he saw the same thing, and I know that whenever we agree on something, it's like, because the macro stuff with the technical stuff. So I thought, I was like, can you come on and talk about that? So just I try to keep my content to something that's current and whatever is happening at the time. And I think there is a lot of interest in options right now. I do not have an options account per se. Maybe I'll make one, but I
Well,
had
you're
heard that
trading futures,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. But I had heard options people go broke. So I mean, the first
Well,
account, like
the option the options on steroids is futures. I mean, your leverage is massive. So if
right.
you can
I don't
do
want to
that,
get
you can
that.
do anything.
Yeah, I don't want to. Okay, okay, okay. But I just didn't. I've only done options a couple of times. I mean, when I tried to short Tesla the first time, I called Michael Listman, who is at the, it's like the person I know that he knows options, and I was like yelling, I was like really trying to do it fast because Tesla had just hit 650, and I knew it would reject from there because it hit 650 too fast. So then I was like, okay, 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 okay. Like, and it was just, yeah, I was like, which ones do I buy? And I was like asking him to walk me through, how I do it in TD, because I just never done it
What
before.
was his general advice? Because I'm asked this
Oh,
a,
well,
a
he
lot.
told me not to do it. He's like,
Okay.
what are you doing? And I was like, it's going down. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to buy a car. It's going down. Oh my God. No, no. I mean, he's like, what? Because I had never done it before. I was like, I have to buy puts on this right now, immediately. But they were expensive, and so then he's like,
There's
"Well, what do you
that.
think it'll be at next week?" And I was like, "Oh, I have to." So I don't understand. It's hard for me to do time
So
frames.
that's interesting because yeah, so for options, my very first question is always, what's your time frame?
Right? Yeah. I see.
100%. What's the time frame? Like, are you talking this week, the next quarter, this year? Because it totally will dictate that
Right.
option tactic. And
Right.
then people always don't add enough time.
Right. Well, no, I was very confident on the first one. I knew that one
Okay.
was
Okay.
going
So
within the week. So I knew that one. I was super confident about that one. The second one, I was like, it's going down, but I don't know when. But I
that,
still did the same thing because I just thought, oh, it'll be cheaper. But then I didn't. This is how much I don't understand options. The ones I bought were up 65% the next day, but the price wasn't. The price was like still kind of flat, but the options were up because the volatility was so high,
the
and I
implied
truly did not
volatility.
understand that. I was like, what? How? If I'm up 65% now, imagine if price goes down, and it did not. I was like,
Okay.
oh, and that was just greedy dumbness. Like, I just don't know what I'm doing. So
No,
then then
that's
I
a
shorted
lot
the.
of options is being lucky.
Okay, okay, yeah. So then I just shorted the common. I was like, well, this thing's going down. So,
But
but
then that's
I was looking.
expensive too, right? With margin and
Yeah, well,
using up
yeah,
your available
yeah.
equity and all that jazz. So options are still fabulous, but I'm curious, do you remember if you traded the options at the money or out of the money?
I'm sure it was out of the money because I'm a cheap ass,
Okay.
and they were expensive. Like, I'm sure, but I actually did go in the money on my first Tesla. Like, whatever I did for the week, I got it. I actually traded that like 3 or 4 times, and I was just live telling people what I was doing. I was like, oh. And at one point, I mean, it was like below where I said it was going to be, and I was like, whoa. So I got rid of it. I mean, and then I left a portion on because I'm like, what if it goes to,
That's right. All
yeah, no,
right.
I got a really, I mean, I got lucky that it did it in the time frame that I thought it would do the first time. The second time, I mean, I just didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing that much, but I'm trying to learn. So that's what I mean, I'm trying to learn, and in the course of me learning, I will say, I'm never afraid to say what I don't know. And
Yeah, this
yeah,
is
and usually if I
endearing.
don't
This
know
is
it,
again adorable.
I don't know if that's adorable, but the thing is,
No,
I
it
know
is.
that if I don't know it, then other people probably don't know it also, and maybe
Yeah.
they just don't want to speak up because they're. I don't care. You can consider me dumb all you want. Because I know I'm not. So it's okay if people think what I'm asking is a dumb question. Or it's okay if they think I don't care. Honestly, I really just care about learning, and I care about helping other people also learn. That's it.
That's it. But that is honestly, that's the staying power and why people trust and kind of follow and definitely cheer you on. And then of course you swear a lot.
I did. I don't know. I
That
don't know.
makes you cool. You're a cool kid, I swear. The ones that I've noticed anyway that have like this engagement, they're not boring. You're not boring.
I am not boring. That's true. I like to have a good time.
So, did you celebrate in any way, shape, or form at St. Patty's Day? Did you use it as an excuse to kind of go play pool, something?
We my mom got her second shot yesterday, so after her second shot, we went and we had margaritas.
Okay,
Like
that's
I'm
something.
crazy like that. No, that's
Okay.
they were green margar. I mean, they were
With your
greenish.
mother.
I know. Well, I mean, I was like, yeah, and gator bites. So we had gator bites and margaritas.
Sorry, what's a gator bite?
But this is my mom is so crazy.
What's a gator bite? You're in Florida.
It's a part of a gator.
Okay, so it really is like it's not like a tater totter. It's like really a gator totter.
It was part
Okay.
of a gator, and there are when they're done correctly, there
They're
was
yummy?
fried, but pretty
Tastes
much
like
everything
chicken?
fried. Yeah, everything it does
Okay.
taste a little bit like everything fried is delicious. But my mom would not eat them because if you think I'm interesting, she's like, honey, we had this pet gator when I was in Gainesville, and I can't eat that. You know, that's like before I got in the car, I used to feed this gator every day, and he got to know my footsteps. You know, they can't see
My
very
God.
well, but they can hear you, and they can. She knew this gator knew whenever I was coming, so I cannot eat that gator. And I was like, oh, okay, mom. Like I just ate them,
As you
mom.
stomp away, does it come with a sauce? I mean, was there any like
Yeah, the sauce is delicious. I don't know what it's called, but it was good. I liked it. I like gator bites.
this is
But
definitely not on the Irish menu, but hey, this is you're celebrating. You're
yeah,
celebrating.
I just told everybody what my mom sounds like too. She does
This was
sound
awesome. She's
exactly
going to
like
watch
that.
this and she's going to critique. So, any plans
She
for the
won't.
summer? Are you going to take any time off? Or you're going to just trade, 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 trade?
I would like to travel somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, you know what? We were booked for a cruise to Japan before the whole pandemic
Wow.
thing hit, and I'm glad we didn't do that, like in hindsight. But I would like to travel somewhere, and if I can, I will. But otherwise, I don't. Why would I? I don't. I like it.
Okay.
You know, sometimes I'll go days without trading. Sometimes if I'm in a mood.
But you're okay. So when you're in a mood, then we're going to hear about it on Twitter, and they'll be swearing, and a lot of trader psychology. That's definitely your downtime, right?
Yeah, yeah. I try not to trade when I'm in a mood.
In a mood. Okay, so we'll know. That's going to be
Yeah,
the tell.
yeah. No, I mean I'll say I don't have anything. Yeah, like sometimes I'll say I'm a hot mess, but here's what I would do if I were trading or something. You know,
Okay,
sometimes it's helpful.
that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this to me is trading. There's a lot of emotion that comes in, and if you're doing your own thing, then obviously you can pick and choose when you engage. I have to do every single day, and I love the live trading room action because I'm really comfortable with identifying when momentum comes in, and I like supporting clients in their trading or investment goals. But I am definitely what do you call it? Susceptible to like a rainy day. There's no question, right? Or this mood of the market right now, which is so choppy. I just want it to hit the targets, and then we can do a proper correction. Until then, it's painful.
Well, wasn't
Waiting.
it really boring though when we
Yes.
had that whole stretch of time when it was like 1% or below every freaking day? It
Yep.
was so. When was that?
So think about that.
2016?
I have to
So
fill up that
boring.
time in a live trading room.
That was very boring.
Exactly.
That was very boring.
Yeah.
Now it's
So
not boring. So
yeah.
that's good.
Well, no, I think it is actually very boring right now for
You
me.
do?
Yes, I totally
Oh,
do. Yep, waiting for something, totally wicked awesome to happen.
but you, yeah, yeah.
That's my thing anyway. But I fill it up in other ways. I get all kinds of projects, and one of them is this kind of women in trading and finance series, which I want to kind of grow and get other women involved in. Okay, there are places where we can see women trading. Julia has her locations. There are women who do, trader education for sure. There are a number that I've invited on, which is really exciting also to hear their stories of how they come in. Some are self-taught, others have been in it for a long, 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 long time, and how we each approach it. But there is one thing that I have definitely noted: for the most part, it is more inclusive than exclusive, meaning, there isn't this bravado. Some have some male energy. You were just kind of talking about how, the elevator button, damn
Yeah,
it.
no, I don't, I really, I mean, I'm not afraid to, I think I do have that male like energy, but I'm also not afraid to admit when I don't know something, which I think is potentially more womanish-ish than male-ish, because I mean, I'm not, it doesn't bother me to not know something. Like I'll stop and ask for directions all day long.
Yes, that. So what do we do? What do we do to kind of like get more women in this biz? Trading
Um,
and, managing money and analyzing and having the confidence to kind of spout off and not worry about um, the competition, so to speak, in regards to having their voice heard, especially in this male dominated space. Just and focus on results. How to help kind of get that word out.
I don't know. There are some brilliant women that I interact with. I think it really has to do with supporting people and not letting women in particular get bullied by these guys. It's not funny when
That's a good way of putting
when
it.
yeah, when they make jokes and things. I mean, I get it. There, there's, I like to have fun. I think I have a sense of humor, but it's sometimes it's just not funny. They pick on each other too, and maybe that's okay, but it's not funny to constantly pick on somebody because of the way they look, or if they're women or men, or if they're gay or straight, or whatever. It's just not funny. It's not cool, and it doesn't. It's and so I think maybe the way is just to support each other and support diversity and support people looking at other points of view that aren't their own, because I know I can always learn stuff. Like even if I go back to looking at my lines, every time I have a conversation with somebody smart or just anybody, I learn something. I try.
Yeah,
And
this
so
is
I think it's just us supporting each other and supporting other people who maybe aren't as inclusive and aren't included, and who maybe just don't feel maybe they're not even, maybe they're not being, maybe they just don't feel comfortable, but giving them the confidence to say, you know what, it's fine if you express a viewpoint and it's not correct afterwards. Who can, like, I don't delete my tweets. I've been wrong lots of times. I
this
mean,
is a
I don't.
100% injury sport,
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned. This is
right. If you're not wrong,
100%.
right. If you're not wrong, then you're not trading. I don't know. I don't care. I don't delete any of my. Well, sometimes I delete them if they're like bad jokes or something. But I don't delete any trading tweets like ever, because I don't care. You can go back and validate my track record. It's either good or bad. It's usually good. Sometimes bad, but it's usually good. And I don't care. So anyway, I think just them knowing that, even if you're wrong, you're still right. That's okay. It's okay to be wrong, and it's okay. And it's, the trick is to manage things when they're wrong. It's easy to manage a trade when it's right, but if you already know ahead of time if it's wrong what you're going to do, then that's all you need to know. And it's okay to put yourself out there. And people, I respect people. I like tweets. I don't know if people think that when I've liked them, I'm agreeing with them or not, but I like tweets all the time when people put themselves out there and they express an opinion. If they express an opinion and tell me why, and it's a reason that I respect, then I will like that tweet. Like if they're just like, I think it'll go down because, like, if they're just cheerleading or whatever, I don't like it usually. But if I think they're putting themselves out there because they have a strong point of view, and I can understand their justification, even if I don't agree with it, I'll like it, because it's important to support people expressing an opinion, no matter who it is. In my opinion, that's, I do. I support people all the time that don't agree with me, and that's fine.
This is the lawyering of a trade. We have if we have, I think, an open mind to both sides, we can also avoid being blindsided. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that someone's brave enough to put their calls out there
Yeah.
and then support them. And
Right.
then they're wrong. Okay, but they made best efforts and some logical, reasonable assumptions. It's like that is so much work. And I that's why I'm quick to block because
Oh,
I
yeah.
work I work 16 hours coming up with, themes and supporting them and clients. And there's just no way of course I'm going to be wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's how hard I worked to weigh the evidence before coming to that place.
Right.
And that's rigorous. I'm not lazy. I think that anyone who does the work,
Yeah.
it
I agree.
deserves some respect. And if they're pompous and, no, it only can happen this way, then that means they're not flexible,
Right.
right? And I don't want to follow them because that's dangerous. That's too rigid.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I try to post very high probability stuff in general. Like I will just in general, I will try to, it may be a short-term trade, but just, high probability
are you
for,
more careful what you post now that your Twitter following has blown up?
um,
Like before when you had 600, before you were adorable, and now that you have,
that was, yeah.
60,000, are you more careful to
Well, it's, you
select
know
what
what?
you put up there?
You know what I hate is when people come after me that I should be more responsible with what I post because I have so many followers. But the reason I have so many followers is because because I post what I think, and
There you
so
go.
their logic is completely flawed. I mean, they're saying, well, you should be, if you're going against trend, you should be very careful. And I'm like, well, that's how I got popular. No, and I mean, well, but it
Yep, that's true.
because not
That's true.
necessarily because it's the right thing to do, but because I'm really good. Well, I don't know. I have a successful track record at inflection points, and it doesn't mean I stay. And that's the other thing. People tend to think that people stay one way forever. They think if I short Tesla one time and even say that I'm closing the trade, they'll come back at me like 3 months
Yeah.
after and
Yeah.
say, "How's that short working out for you?" I'm like, "I don't know. Closed it 3 months ago."
Yeah. No,
Like,
I don't.
look at
That's
this
why I
date.
don't even bother. The expression is don't get distracted, from your goals by the barking dog. Just,
Yeah.
keep going. But this is still, a work in progress, right? You're engaging, you're there. It's your private journal. You can put
Right.
whatever you want and they can unsubscribe if they want,
Right.
unfollow, whatever it is. So this is lovely that we have this
Yeah. Well,
opportunity.
it's usually people that are jealous or that are saying that. And I mean, the thing is, like, I've never talked about. I don't ever retweet anybody who talks about how much money they made on any of my calls. I couldn't. I mean, I'm happy for them. I am, but I am not. I am not trying to promote myself at all.
Well, it doesn't matter. Let them do. You do you. So
Yeah. Right.
so you're just how you do you is right here. Just for anyone who is new, because I'm going to post this on my website, um, my YouTube channel. But I want to make sure we hit anybody who had any comments or questions in chat. So you do that,
I did want to talk about something somebody asked me, and maybe I can.
please.
Okay. Somebody was asking me about where I got my robot line on NQ
Your
because
what?
so I called it a robot line because it was, and I called it that really right when it started happening, but it was one line in particular that I noticed that algos were like aggressively defending or supporting, whatever. And
Okay,
so somebody had asked me about how I derived that line, and I did want to talk about it because it's interesting.
hit it.
So I've noticed that when I find a slope that's a really good, when I find a line that's really good on any chart, I should be able to move that line around, and if I move it into key areas, that line should show me that it's respected by algorithms. And that one line in particular, I was like, "Oh, look at that. Those algos really like that one." So I put a little robot on it. And then it turns out this last correction, we exactly bounced off of it and came back. And then I made another little robot today. But the reason I did that is because that is a slope that I'd used before in the past. And then when I saw that there was a flag there, I took that slope and I created it again. And I was like, wow, look at that. And so so that's how I don't know if I'm explaining this as articulately as possible, but
you put it in your Twitter, right?
yeah. So
yes.
yeah. So I posted it, but I just wanted to say that it was a slope that I'd used before. I noticed that that the algos were defending it aggressively. So yeah, so if you go to the purple that line, you can see at the very on the left-hand side there. See the flag that it was originally, or it was actually yeah. Actually, it turns out it was an upside down Head and Shoulders, but whatever.
Okay.
And where that purple line started.
Yep.
Is there. And so I labeled it the robot line, and then it just bounced exactly off of it before and then came back up. So and then I made the green, there's a green top of the flag too, that now is going to be, I think, very important at about 12,750-ish or so. Okay. So anyway, the way I derived that is simply that I had taken a slope I used in the past and I was like, oh, that's a good one. And so I was looking for it at some point to back test that line, and it did. And so if it goes back there again, though, I think it's extremely no bueno. Like, no bueno.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
And what about oil now that it has absolutely crashed through my levels anyway, 63 all the way down to 60? Yikes. Carrie's asking, do you have any oil equity sectors that are good at these levels? You're a knife catcher extraordinaire.
Well, I mean, so far on the weekly, it's bounced off of the 9MA. It's not even gotten to the 20 yet. I mean, the candles look like poop, right? I mean, it looks like, one of those setting sun things. The big green, and then like the doji, which is what I was talking about.
The Morningstar reversal, where it's...
Yes. That's what it's called. You see, I don't know the names. I know the concepts. I memorized all of those charts, but I didn't memorize the names because I wasn't discussing them with anyone. So I was just like, okay, that's bearish, this is bullish. I got this. But I don't know what I did. So anyway, this is the third on the weekly chart. I'm looking at it. You can't see it. I'm like,
no, you can share though if you want to, but I
don't want to do that.
Okay.
I've got things up here I don't want people to see,
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, this is like the third red. If you look on the weekly chart yourself, everybody, which you should do, this is like last week was the third red kind of hanging man kind of thing. It's like a dragonfly thing. I don't know, but usually on the second or third, it's like that's when it corrects. So anyway, you just back tested the 9 on the weekly. It's not that even big of a deal. It could go all the way. It could go all the way down to, I mean, I shouldn't do it this week because that would be devastating.
That would be, but
it could go all the way down to the 20 weekly, and it's still extremely bullish looking to me.
I have a thing, which is it needs to close above 60 this month, and then it can be very bullish. So, in the meantime, this is massive chop right now because it just it had so much built in, vaccine rainbow and the rest, and the EIA on Wednesday was bearish. So we definitely collapsed. Now let's see how sharp the knife catchers really want to be. But I think, let's wait a few weeks.
I mean, the week before, today's Thursday. So the week before last, we had the same amplitude of the candle. So, I mean, we need some, like you said, we need a tail going.
Yep.
Yeah, but it still looks okay to me. I would like it. Actually, I'd like it a little bit lower because I think even though it's collapsed, I don't think it's. I
think it's washing out the weak hands. I think the latecomers are like, what the heck was I thinking? The money was easy from November, and then it went hot fire flames, obviously, this year, and then boom, we got 65, which is the line in the sand, and it just said, we're going to play with you, and they're playing. But I still think if we close above 60, it's bullish. Below, no bueno. Agree with you.
Okay, yeah.
No, I agree with you. Well, this is where it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen, for after. I'm going to post this interview on my YouTube channel. I have really, right down here, hold on, down here. This is Macro to Micro Power Hour I do with Jonathan on Tuesdays. And then down here, there's women in trading and finance, and you're
Look
going to
how
go
professional
right.
you are. I need to fix my YouTube.
No, so I have a marketing director. He did this, and I don't have very many. You have so many subscribers and followers, and I don't do bum kiss, except I
Oh.
do a lot for clients. So I'm very
I'm
very
gonna
busy.
make mine. No, I
But
don't know
this
if I
is a
want to do that.
playlist, my dear. I've got my
Oh,
occasional, and then when I do presentations, and then women in trading and finance, and then I've got some risk indicators that are going on the Apple Store
oh.
at the end of the month. So yeah, this is new for me,
I
and
don't make
so
any money off of it, so I don't really care.
I don't either. Not with
I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
not but you're on your way if you want to, and
Oh,
it's fun, and like I said, you are, I hate to say it again, but it's true, you're adorable, and I'm
oh my goodness.
really glad to meet you because we haven't done that before face to face, and you were tough to get a hold of.
I'm sorry. I hate to be interviewed. I hate it.
Well, I too bad. Women need to see what they can be.
Okay.
There, I said it. All right. I wish everyone a fabulous weekend because it's almost there. And it is a thrill, like I said, to meet the wonderful trader and knife catcher. And you can follow her on her Twitter and YouTube channel, as we have already discussed. And I'll post this video on mine in a little bit. So, on that note, have a great evening, Julia, and say hi to your mom.
Thank you, Samantha. I will. Thank
Love
you.
this.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.